Hello everyone. So right now actually we'll be going through the entire syllabus for the Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics. We will try to understand that what all things you need to get covered while just starting with the syllabus. Okay, so there are some topics and it's for the subject code 0.0580, that is basically extended mathematics. So we'll be talking about that. And remember, as per the IGCSE guideline, this syllabus is validated for 2025 to 2027. Okay, so for the coming 2 years it is validated. So let's talk about it one by one. Okay, so this Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics, that is having the subject code 0580, is actually internationally recognized qualification for secondary school students worldwide. Okay, and it has been developed by Cambridge Assessment International Education, CAIE, as you all know. And this particular course is actually designed for students aged 14 to 16. So that's the particular thing that you need to know. And after this they can just proceed with their higher level study, just like A levels, or if they want to switch to IB, so they can go for the DP studies. So it's just like that. Yeah. Now, who is this course for? As I told you, this course is for the students aged between 14 to 16. Okay, and it suits learner who aim to progress to A level or IB or higher education. Second is seek strong foundation for STEM careers. Then the third thing is thrive in structured problem and solving environments. And the fourth one is attended internationally or Cambridge affiliated schools worldwide. So for that, it is validated. Let's talk further. Okay, so as I told you that this particular syllabus that I'll be discussing is for the cycle of 2025 to 2027. So it's validated for that, nothing more than that. Okay, now the course philosophy is very simple. Okay, first one is basically conceptual understanding. Okay, Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics builds a deep comprehension of mathematical ideas rather than rote memorization. It's not about memorization, it's about the comprehension of mathematical ideas. Okay, and through this actually students are guided to understand the why behind every method, enabling them to understand or apply knowledge flexibly across unfamiliar problems and real world contexts. So that's the thing that you need to know. Next thing is that is also about making the student confident, independent thinkers. The course actually nurtures students who reason logically, communicate mathematically, and tackle challenges with confidence. Practical application is woven, okay, throughout, from data interpretation to geometrical reasoning, preparing learners for academic and professional success. So you need to remember this thing up. Yeah. So let's proceed. Now, the course aim. Course aim is very simple. So it's about building the mathematical fluency and confidence through structural practice with numbers, algebra, geometry, statistics, probability, etc. topics. Okay, and then foster logical reasoning and problem solving abilities that extend beyond the classroom, preparing students for further education career in STEMs, finance, engineering, and everyday real world application. As you know, IGCSE is profound in just applying logical senses in the students. Now, the key skills. So, students actually develop the ability to analyze mathematical problems, construct logical arguments, and justify their reasonings with clarity, precision, essential for both examinations and real world application. So, that's the thing. Second is like learners build systematic approaches to unfamiliar problems to them. And students learn to present mathematical work clearly using correct notations, structured working, and precise languages to communicate solutions and interpretations effectively. So these are the things that they generally go for. Now, now let's talk about the syllabus overview. So there are some 6, 7, or 8 components that you need to understand. Okay, first they will be starting, the syllabus will start with numbers, and it will be all about the foundation of all mathematical reasoning. Student actually explore integers, decimals, fractions, percentages, power roots, standard form, etc. And this topic builds numerical fluency for them, an ability to estimate, calculate accurately, and interpret real world quantities. So that's the first thing, that's basically about numbers. Second thing is algebra. So it's about the language of algebra, language of patterns, and relationship that they understand. Students actually learn to form and solve equations, manipulate expressions, Work with sequences. Sequences are actually a very like hectic topic in this. People think about it, but yeah, it's very easy although. And then using algebraic thinking, a core skill underpinning hard mathematics and analytical reasoning. So these are the things that they need to go for. The third thing is basically about coordinate geometry, and it's very simple actually. For IGCSE grade 10, it's extended mathematics. It's pretty simple. So basically, they need to learn about the 2D plane, okay, and the topics will include that calculating gradient, which is very very important, then finding midpoints, working with equation of straight line in the form of y equals to mx plus c, and it is actually builds the bridge between visual graphs and algebraic reasoning. So there are multiple topics that needs to be covered over here. Next thing is basically about the geometry. Okay, so this topic develops spatial reasoning through the study of angles, triangles, polygons, circles, and their properties. So circle theorems is an important segment that will be covered over here. And students apply theorems including circle theorem, as I told you, and properties of parallel line. That is very very important, especially the play of transversals that you will be talking about. Okay, and the geometry trains logical deduction and proof, encouraging students to justify conclusions systematically rather than rely on intuition alone. So that's the thing that need to understand. Then the students will be talking about the mensuration. Okay, mensuration is actually a very core component over here, and it's highly scoring, so don't worry about it at all. And this topic actually covers the measurement and calculation of length, area, and volume of 2D and 3D shapes. So that's the thing. Okay, in coordinate geometry also some segment will come with regards to 3D. So I'm telling you right now only. Okay, so in mensuration also it also comes like that. Just like in 2D, it's like rhombus, parallelogram, trapezium, something like that. And in 3D, you'll be encountering with various figures, thus like cube, cuboid, cone, those shapes actually. So it will be around that. Then the next thing actually students will explore is trigonometry. Trigonometry is very easy component. If you understood the basics in trigonometry, trigonometry is the actually the easiest topic. So in that actually first it will be talking about the relationship between the angles and sides and right angle and non-right angle triangles using sine, cosine, and tangent ratios, as well as the sine and cosine rules. So these rules tools are fundamental in navigation, physics, and spatial reasoning. So that's the thing that needs to be talked about. Then we'll be talking about the transformation and vectors. So that's also an important component. So basically, students will be learning the basics of transformations. Okay, over here, just like translations, the basic three are translation, reflection, rotation, and enlargement. So these are very simple topics that they can understand very easily. Okay, and I'm telling you that vectors and transformation is one of the very scoring topics. It's highly scoring. Okay, if you understood the basics well. Then this topic builds a spatial reasoning and connects algebra to geometry through coordinate-based transformation. So that's the point we need to understand. Then the next thing is basically about the probability. So students actually calculate the likelihood of a single and combined event. So that's the basic thing that you need to understand. And yes, in this topic, students actually majorly suffer in the part of tree diagrams, Venn diagrams, and those things. So yes, in the course that I'll be taking, so I'll be covering these things up. So don't worry about it at all. Okay, and it's about the logical thinking. It's actually a very interesting topic, but the point is at the same time it's like a little sluggish to understand sometimes. Okay, but yeah, you'll be able to get it, don't worry. And the last thing actually is basically about statistics. So statistics is very easy to understand. It's about collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. And let me tell you, it's a very important component if you talk about the current data analytics sector. Okay, so yeah, in that it is frequently used, even in data sciences or something. Okay, and here it includes frequency tables, bar charts, pie charts, histograms, scatter diagram, mean, median, mode, range, cumulative frequency, box and whisker plots. Students learn to identify trends, compare distribution, and draw conclusion from real-world data sets. So these are the things that they work upon. Now you need to understand there's a difference. So these core and extended mathematics both comes under the subject code 0580 only. But there's a slight difference. Okay. So in core pathway we talk about, so it is designed for students seeking a solid foundation in mathematics and covers essential topics that they need to understand. And the point is that there's a thing that you need to understand, that here the grades will be only from C to G. Okay, this course is actually for the student who needs a strong focus on the fundamentals, or for whose fundamentals are not that good. So they need to go with this course, and the highest grade that they can obtain is basically a C grade over here, that you need to understand. Okay, but if we talk about the extended pathway, so here actually all the topics for the student code 0580 will be subject code 0580 will be covered, and the highest grade that they can obtain over here will be the A star grade. So that you need to understand, and this will help them to just prepare themselves to for the A level and beyond that part also. Okay, fine, let's move on actually. Just give me a second. Yeah. Now, the examination structure is very, very simple, and it's very easy to understand. Okay, so there will be two papers for both core and extended. Okay, for core it will be paper 1 and paper 2, and for extended it will be paper 3 and paper 4. Sorry, I think there's some mistake over here. Paper 1 and paper 3, paper 2 and paper 4. That should be the part. Yeah. So basically what happens that in paper 1, okay, it's actually paper 1 and paper 2 in extended is basically a non-calculator paper. Okay, and that will be for 1 hour. Okay, and that actually tests pure mathematical reasoning and mental arithmetic skills without calculator assistance. But in paper 3 and paper 4, they will be talking about the use of calculator, and it assesses problem solving, application and multi-step reasoning with scientific calculator permitted in the exam. Okay, so let me just paper 1 and paper 3 is for the core mathematics people. Okay, and paper 2 and paper 4 is for the extended mathematics people. Also, there's a difference in the marking also. So in for the core mathematics people, each paper will be of 80 marks, but for the extended mathematics people, each paper will be of 100 marks. And paper 1 in core is basically non-calculator, paper 3 is calculator. For extended people, paper 2 is non-calculator, paper 4 is calculator. So that's the difference that you need to understand. Again, as I told you, that core paper targets are not paper 1 and 2 but 3. Okay, and this 2 and 4. So core paper 1 and 3 targets grade C to G, while extended paper targets 2 to 4. Each paper pair is equally weighted and together form 100% of the final Cambridge IGCSE grade. This is the thing that you need to ponder. Now there are assessment objectives also that you need to understand. First one is this AO1, assessment objective 1, which says it targets upon the knowledge and techniques, and it actually demonstrates knowledge of mathematical facts and concepts and methods, and applies standard technical accuracy to solve routine problems, perform calculation, and use algorithm with confidence across all subjective syllabus topics. So it consists of around 50 to 60% of the whole weightage. Okay, and this AOV, as I can understand, this covers around 40 to 50%. So it's lesser. So it's about reasoning and problem solving, and it is about analyzing problems, interpreting information, and construct logical arguments. So that's the difference, prime difference between both of them. Okay, yeah. Now, grading system, as I already told you, but I'm discussing it again, so that actually, because this is a very much critical thing which parents usually don't understand. So that's why I'm just discussing it up. That Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics uses grades A star to G. Okay, but for core it is C to G. Okay, so that's the difference that you need to understand. So grade A star actually represent exceptional performance with deep problem solving ability, and definitely for if it is connected with the, because many students want to switch to IPDP studies. Okay, so in that actually there need to be an exceptional performance in IGC grade 10 extended mathematics for sure. Then only you can just switch to IBTP. Okay, because IBTP also has a minimum requirement for everything. So again, the next thing is, while grade C is the internationally recognized benchmark of competency, such grade reflects consistent criterion reference standards applied worldwide. Okay, that's the thing. Grades are awarded based on the total marks across all the papers, with grade boundaries set each session by the expert examiner to maintain fairness. So there will be fairness, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Now, how to approach the course? So people say, and that's a general definition I'm telling you, that success in Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics comes from understanding, not memorization. That's the first thing. Okay, so focus on grasping the why behind each method. That's the thing that you need to work upon. Okay, and rest the things will be very easy, so don't worry about it. Now, career applications about it. So IGCSE Mathematics builds skills that unlock high demand careers, STEM fields, and if you want to just step beyond the this grade 10 or grade 11 structure, so higher level studies, it helps in a lot in that. Okay, and it also helps in finance and economics, depends on numerical reasoning and in statistics, while medicine and research require data interpretation and probability skills. So in this course actually will help the students with regards to this part. And beyond STEM, if we talk about mathematical literacy, is very valued in architecture, logistics, business analytics, and digital technology also. So Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics signals to understands and employers that our students can think critically. So that's the thing. Okay, so that's why it is very much different with regards to other boards, especially if we talk about in the case of India, if we talk about CBSE or ICSE or state boards, it's very much different with regards to them. Okay, it's more about the logical thinking, it's more about the application-based thinking, which you need to understand. So yeah, as I told you, so it's Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics develop deep reasoning and analytical thinking, and it's not just about memorization, it is basically about the understanding. Okay, and the next thing is basically it helps you to master the topics from number and algebra to statistics and trigonometry, and equips students with globally recognized skills. Now that's the thing you need to understand. And that's it actually from my side. Thank you for just listening to this whole video, and hopefully it helps to the parents and the students both as well. Thank you so much. Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.